Featured presenter, our star this evening, Joel, Dorsey Dower, and Sadie.
Hi everybody. Sadie and I are so happy that you're here tonight. Now, I want you to remember that what you saw in the movie was a reenactment that actually did happen to Sadie. But she is so good. She is a movie star. She did so well during the filming of that. It took us a year to do by the William Eisner Agency right here in Hales Corners. A whole year to film that. And it's just an absolutely fantastic production. Don't you all agree? Yeah. Absolutely. So this is world famous Sadie. Sadie does a lot of things that most dogs don't do. Did you know that she's got her logo on the back of the Muskego police car? How does that happen? Well, let me tell you how it happens. Have you seen another dog with their logo on a police car before? I'll bet you haven't. The reason she does this is because Sadie, with her connections, not my connections, her connections, what she does is that she has gotten many police dogs for police departments. And as you well know, at $18,000 for each dog, that is no small feat. But Sadie can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into a PowerPoint presentation to give you a little bit more explanation, things like that about Sadie. And then we're going to be doing questions, any questions that you have about Sadie, because I know there's plenty of questions out there. So let's start right now with the PowerPoint presentation. This is Sadie. And could you flip it back just one more? One more. This is what Sadie looked like in the shelter. Now the story goes that what I was doing in my real job, yes, I do have a day job. I work full-time also, and I help people to downsize. I had a stash of blankets with me. And what I did is I took those blankets to a dog shelter to donate them. I didn't need another dog. I'm loaded at home. So I was taking these blankets to the shelter, and on my way out, I saw this adorable dog. I didn't see anything wrong with her. So I said, "Oh, she's so cute. What's her story?" And they told me in heartbreaking detail. And because I'm a fixer, I like to fix things. I said, do you think I could take her to the doctor? Now, I already had a relationship with that shelter. I had taken another dog out of there years ago. So they said, sure, if you pay for it. So off the dog known as Sadie and I went. What happened then was very heartbreaking to me, and it's all in her book. The doctors were saying, look, she's fecally incontinent, urinary incontinent, and can't walk. What do you think? And we can take care of that for you right now. But you know, I have to tell you, I saw something in Sadie's eyes that told me differently. She would not stop looking out of that car window. She was fascinated with any of the people on bicycles or the cars or any of the trees that were whizzing past. And I thought, this dog still has some life in her. So our journey continued. I took Sadie home for the night, put her in the garage, because every time you picked her up, because she couldn't walk, everything flew out of her. So off to the garage she went for the night. The next day I took her to a holistic vet near my house in Muskego, and that doctor said, let's give her a chance. And that's where Sadie's story really begins. The therapies that she gets, everything. And I have to tell you, first of all, this was never on my bucket list to do. You have to realize that. Things just happen that are very strange. So what happened was that I started doing therapies. And I do have to tell you that doing a therapy is just like when you have children. It's day one. This is what you do with your child the first day. Well, there's no book like that. And it's the same thing with Sadie. I have had to absolutely do what I needed to do with her. And the therapies and the thinking and everything that you have to just absolutely, you have to do the right thing. And that's what we did on our journey. Sadie today gets 2 to 3 hours of rehab every single day. She doesn't get the same thing every day. She gets swimming therapy, she gets power play. There's many, many things that you don't even know about. And people just have to dig. She wears braces on her legs for an exercise we call peanut butter. And what Sadie does is when she has her back braces on, then she stands horizontally like any other dog does. And what I do is a 2-person exercise. I will stabilize Sadie from the back, and she moves up, down, right, left, and that will help all of her muscles. You see, Sadie has muscle and nerve damage. And what we have to do is get those muscles and nerves lively again. And that's why Sadie's got a double whammy. So Sadie is just not a lump in a wagon, as Bob here found out before. Sadie is lively, she's animated, she has absolutely so much fun. And Sadie has us think about what we can do and not what we can't do, just like Sadie does. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. You could say, oh, I can't do that because it hurts, whatever. But Sadie says, ha, so I don't walk like a normal dog. So I still have all bullet and shrapnel on my back. I can do high tens over my head. I'm a really good watchdog, and I can do quiet bark, and I can do tricks. So forget about your limitations. Think about the big picture. And think about what you really can do. The other thing Sadie does is she's staring at me. What we do is she's thinking about acceptance of people and animals who have special needs. And Sadie wants you to know that we all have special needs. But you know what? We all have special abilities too. There's something all of us can do just a little bit better than the next person can. And that's what Sadie is here to tell us about. Now don't think she's just a lump in a wagon, because she definitely is not a lump in a wagon. Are you? No. We do a lot of games with her because Sadie can't run and get a ball like any other dog does. So we play games like Spider Biter, where she's jumping all around the bed, and that helps all of her muscles get going. Now when you saw her in her wheelchair up here before, that was staged, I have to tell you. The producer of the film wanted her in her wheelchair. Now all of us don't like some form of exercise. I have to tell you, Sadie does not like her wheelchair. She'll do anything for me except that wheelchair. She just doesn't like it. And I think that's okay. That is okay with me because she does so many other things. So what I'm going to do right now is I am going to take Sadie out of there and show you what she can do. Right, boo-boo? You ready? We're so lively. But I've got to get magic first. I've got to get some treats. Now, if you haven't seen her book, I do suggest that you pick up a copy and look at it. And they are available at Target, Barnes & Noble, anywhere books are sold. But the beauty of watching, getting one of the books when you're with us is Sadie will autograph your copy. Yes, she will. Now, Sadie does many other things. You may have seen her in the area. Sadie's a bell ringer for the Salvation Army. And I know that just because Sadie is who she is, she can collect a lot more money for them than I could ever do on my own. So, let me show you what she can do. We just got back from South Carolina where we were at Barnes & Noble for a book signing. Now, because Sadie's back legs are a little bit slippery, she does much better on carpeting. So I'm going to have her come over on the carpeting so she can show you. You ready? Oh, I know you are. Let's go right over here. Let's go. Ready? You coming out? Come on, let's go. Look what I have. Look what I have. Come on, let's go. Come on. Now we're going to play lazy dog, and she's going to make a liar out of me, right? Come on, up. Over here. Come on, up. Let's go. Let's go. There you go. Good job, Sadie. Good job. Okay, you ready? Now I'm going to move her around so everybody can see her, okay? Now this we're going to do a little bit of quiet bark first. Ready? Can you hear? Very hard to hear, but she's trained to do quiet bark. Ready? You say please? Okay. Good job. Okay, come on over here. Come on over here. Good job. Okay, you ready? What? I can't hear you. What you say? Very good. Now try to have a dog quiet bark. They're going to be really loud. Now make no mistake, Sadie is a really loud watchdog. She's very good. The only thing is that when people are in the yard, they have no idea that Sadie can't run and get you. Okay? It would take her a really long time for her to get to you. So, you ready? Let's see if we can do some high tens. Maybe we're going to be lazy, and maybe we're not. You ready to get up? Okay, let's go. Come on. Oh, you lazy girl. Come on. Some high tens. Come on. Up. Come on. Up. Oh, or she's being lazy. She's going to make a layer out of me. Come on. Up. Bye. There we go. Good job. Very nice. Let's try it again. Come on. Ready? Come on. High tens, you lazy. Come on. Up. Very good. Good job. Now, we can work on our bodies, but we also have to work on our minds. So, what we're going to do with Sadie is I have her play a game to exercise up here. You ready? Hey, boo-boo. Now, I'm going to show you, but I'm not going to show her. It's over in my R-I-G-H-T hand. Okay? Ready? Now, oh, I don't want you to see it though. You ready? Yes? What? Okay. Now you have to guess. Yay! Did it! Yay! And again, it's just like raising a child. It's the same thing. It's just thinking about what's good for them or what's not good for them. Let me give you a very good example. Sadie does a lot of swimming, and all the vets say, take her swimming, it's the best thing for her. So I'm thinking, if we wear ankle weights, that is an absolute fantastic way to get our legs stronger. So I threw it out there. Vet number 1 said, great idea, why don't you do it? Vet number 2 said, no, don't do that. Vet number 3 said, yes. Vet number 4 said, no. So I have to think for myself. Again, raising a child. It's the same thing. So I devised little weights for her. Her ankles are this big. They're cloth. And what they are is there's Velcro around there. What I do with that is then it helps her stretch her legs. And the washers that I use, again thinking, what do you use for weights? First of all, I tried sinkers. That didn't work. So then I went to washers, 1 ounce each. And then she went to 2 ounces, 3 ounces, 4 ounces, and she's really up really high now. But the point being is that thinking about the best thing to do for her. So she wears ankle weights and her legs are getting stronger. Like all of us, Sadie is a work in progress. And you just don't give up on works in progress. So Sadie, what do you think about this? She loves people. She just loves people. Like I said, we just got back from South Carolina where Sadie goes right on the airplane with me and she's done quite a lot of flying. So it's just, we're having a really, really good time out there. And she really, really loves people, loves meeting new people. Now, one of the questions sometimes that's out there is that when did you decide to take Sadie on the road so she could touch more people? And to that, I'm going to answer you, I knew the very second it happened. And again, keep in mind that this was never on my bucket list to do. The very second it happened is when Sadie was downtown with the sled dogs. And that was a couple of years ago. And what happened there was that this mother pushed her son, whose name is Todd, he's getting a little bit older now, up in a wheelchair. Now Todd is blind, he can't talk, he has no limb movement whatsoever. And what the mother did is she took Todd's hand, put it on Sadie. To this day, it gives me goosebumps. Because Todd had sounds coming out of him at that very moment. And I knew that if Sadie could touch one person, she could touch many people. And that's when we decided to go out and touch lives. And Sadie touches so many people with her anti-bullying platform and special needs. It's just amazing. She is doing so much good in the world. And I couldn't be prouder of her. She is just an absolute love, and she's so much fun. Again, definitely different from the dog I picked up in that shelter that day. Definitely different. So with that, I want to ask you if anyone has any questions at all.
What breed is she?
Cindy, what I'd like you to do for me is repeat the question so everybody can hear it, okay? And then we'll answer.
Great, so Bob asked, what breed is Sadie?
Because she was found in Kentucky, we don't really know. If you look at her, maybe she's some Australian Shepherd, who knows? But the way I think about it is that we're all mutts. So it really doesn't make a difference, and I call her a rescue.
I asked this question.
Sadie.
And your name?
Terry.
Terry wants to know, how old is Sadie?
Sadie's 9 years old now. And what I do is I take April 24th as the day that Sadie got out of the shelter, and I call it every year her re-birthday. So yes, Sadie's 9 years old now. But a good-looking 9 years old, isn't she? Mm-hmm.
Does she play with other dogs?
You had a question?
How long have you had her?
I've had her since April 24th, 2012.
I have a question.
Yes.
I was looking on Sadie's website, and I saw pictures of her with the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah, she was with William Henderson. That was our most ambitious, well, let's see, our most ambitious thing that we did to date. We did 10 schools in 2 days with William Henderson. And that was very intense, and Sadie just absolutely passed with flying colors. She had thousands and thousands of hands on her. Now, one thing about being Sadie or being a big celebrity like William Henderson is, it's really funny when you go on the road with someone who's that big. Guess who gets the prime spot? This one right here. Let me tell you why. We always have to hide out in the principal's office, the school's office, or anything, because if any of the kids or adults see Sadie before they see William Henderson or any other celebrity is just going to be absolutely cold potatoes, because all eyes are going to be on her. So we always come on last, and because Sadie is such a big draw. Yes?
Can she play with other dogs?
Can she play with other dogs?
She likes other dogs. Can she play with other dogs? I guess it all depends who the dog is and if the dog's going to be, very nippy and things like that, but she's very inquisitive when it comes to other dogs. So play, I guess, is a word that's subjective because she can't run around like crazy or anything like that. But yes, she does like other dogs.
Does she like treats?
Does she like treats? Ask Bob.
She's food motivated. Bob knows that. Yes.
How do you travel with her?
How do you travel with her?
Carefully. No, actually what happens is that we will, and it takes a long time, this is not easy to do, but because I will not put her in the cargo hold, I guess time's up, right? Do you want to wait for that to be over?
Let's feedback in the microphone. Unplug the mic. Feedback?
Okay, we're good. Let me just give you a little bit of an idea because Sadie has already filmed for the Lifetime Network in Florida. All right, like I said, we're on book tour, so we just came back from Barnes & Noble in Charleston, South Carolina, and we went to New York for the big book convention when her book came out. Now, after 8 weeks of being out, we're already in our 3rd printing. I mean, that's huge. Absolutely, the publisher said it's huge. So how do we fly in an airplane? First of all, I always need an assistant. This is something I cannot do on my own. Let me give you a little bit of a idea of what it takes to take Sadie on a plane. First of all, I've got to have all my papers in order. That takes weeks or months to get together. Then Sadie goes in her wagon. Once we get clearance to fly, what we'll do is Sadie goes in her wagon, we go all the way down the plank to the front of the plane. I will take Sadie out of her wagon, walk her into the plane, put her on the floor in bulkhead where my assistant will be sitting right in the chair. Then I have to go back out, fold her wagon up. This sounds much easier than it is. Fold her wagon back up and then gate check it. And then the whole process is reversed on the way. So it's quite a process flying with her, but she really likes flying. And if you look online at all, the first time this happened, I was in the plane and I'm like, no, this is not happening. No, this is not. Every time we've flown since then, it did happen. Sadie cannot get her face out of the window. She's fascinated with what she sees out there. I thought, no, dogs don't do that. Dogs will just lay on the ground, and it's just absolutely not true. When we flew to New York, you always see the land. You're never in the clouds. And she would not take her nose off that window. Now what we're doing is we're starting to fly into small planes. Brad here has been kind enough for use of his small plane, and Brad is the pilot. A few weeks ago, we road tested Sadie, and we just ran up to Sheboygan, flew up to Sheboygan, if you will. And Sadie, again, is absolutely perfect. She's perfect. She's in the back seat, staring out the window. She loves to fly. Again, never in a hold, never in constraints, nothing like that. She just absolutely loves it. And so I said to Brad, Brad, would you take one of your 3 dogs on an airplane? And he said to me, are you kidding me? There is no way he would take his dogs because his dogs would be bouncing all over. And that's the beauty of Sadie. She is just absolutely wonderful. Great, great dog. What other questions do you have for me?
Yes.
Yes?
Did they ever figure out who did that to him?
Did they ever figure out who hurt Sadie in Kentucky?
Not exactly, and let me tell you why. Because first of all, I can't put my energies there. I just can't do it. Because Sadie just needs too much care and too much rehab. But I can tell you one thing, and we're going to say a man did this to her. A man shot her. The reason we know that is because we were in Landmark Credit Union one day, and they were asking me the same question. And I said, well, we know that a man with a baseball cap, very similar to Bob's, with the brim forward, shot her. Because when Sadie, she's over it now, by the way, you can obviously tell. But when that would happen, a man, like on cue, walked into Landmark Credit Union and Sadie went ballistic. So that's why we know that's what happened to her. And we knew it was a man. Women didn't have that effect, nor putting a baseball cap on backwards had no effect on her. So that's why we know that. Anything else? Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to do a few more tricks for you right now. And I think Bob's got a friend for life over here, don't you? Bob wants you to wear his hat, Sadie. We're going to have to get a picture of that, right? Yes, we will. She wears hats. If you go online too, she wears all of these outfits. And she just doesn't care. She doesn't care at all. She's so good. Sadie, come on, over here. I've got something for you. I've got something. What do you say? What? What? And you know what we should do here? This right here, this gentleman over here, you know children have a nanny? You know what Sadie has? Sadie has a manny. When I work full-time, and that's every day, he will take her over to his house and take care of her. Take really good care of her. And what we're going to do you mind if we close the doors? We're going to get a little bit loud here. We're going to try to get a little bit loud. Because Sadie sings, Sadie howls, and no one can get her to howl like Mr. Manny over there. And we're going to try if we can get Sadie singing. You want to sing? Because once she gets going, she bays at the moon just like a wolf. Are you ready? Here we go. Come on, Manny. Very good job. She can keep on going and going and going. She's a dear. Come here, over here. Come on, over here. And then some people may say, well, why are you putting all of this into a dog? Sadie is like a guinea pig. Sorry, Sadie, I said that. But she is, because there's going to be other dogs that this happens to. And we can guide those people, and we often do, about what works for Sadie, what doesn't work for Sadie. and help people along their journey with their special needs dogs. And Sadie has had a lot of other people get special needs dogs just because of her. Just because of her. Because look at her. I mean, she's lively, she's animated, she's not in any pain. And so what? So she's got some legs here that aren't quite right. We all have problems with something.
Right.
So with that, I want to thank you for being such a good audience. You were just absolutely fantastic. And I urge you to look at Sadie's site if you can, savingsadie.com, or if you do a little bit of Facebook, Sadie's all over Facebook. She even tweets, so she's on Twitter, Instagram, any of the social media, because Sadie wants to reach as many people as she can. So thank you so very much for being a great audience. I thank you. So if any of you want to come up and pet Sadie, I'll put her in her wagon and then you can pet her. She just loves that part.
Sadie.